Hey gang, today we are looking at Victorinox Steel. We are unleashing it to the max. It's a bit of a silly name for a bit of a project I've got going on at the moment where I'm getting these less prestigious, less high speed, less high tech steels and trying to get them cutting good amounts of rope before they no longer slice paper. I'm doing that by putting more extreme edges than you'd probably think to put on it, and definitely than the factory would dare put on it, because when you steepen your edge, you do expose some fragility, which means the edge may not be best for all jobs. Factories will generally release an edge that is good for all jobs because they don't want you to get it, put it straight into a piece of wood or a piece of, something, and then roll your edge over. It's a headache for them, so they don't do it. But your own knives, if you're happy to do so and you have the apparatuses to do so, or the skill with a flat stone, then you can too put edges on which will very much increase your life for everyday carry type tasks at least. So, previous results, I've got about 150 cuts on 1095 steel, AUS 8 about 120, 8CR13, 130-ish cuts, and these are really big improvements on what a more traditional edge has previously done on those steels, and those exact knives that I tested as well. So say AUS 8 went from about 60 cuts, it almost doubled, or about doubled the edge retention by just steepening the edge angle to about 13 degrees or so. So this Swiss Army knife here, Swiss Army knife steel, when previously tested by me with a work sharp edge, and I did it twice, that was when I was establishing controls for my tests, was about 38-39 passes through rope before it would no longer slice paper. What I've done today, that was with a 20 degree per side bevel. What I've done today is I've dialed that way back to 12 degrees per side. And of course it slices through paper like without even an effort. Like you can barely feel the paper, it just makes a nice swishy sound and it is done. So the one risk you're always looking at is it too extreme? I don't want to be too extreme. Too extreme can sometimes make things roll and fold over, and this is a risk with this steel. This is fairly soft stainless steel, 55, 56 on the Rockwell I believe, on the Swiss Army knives. So without much further talking, let's see how much twisted sisal, 10mm, same rope as every time, this stuff will cut before it no longer does that cool stuff to the paper. Let's get into it. Victorinox Swiss Army Steel, unleashed to the max. Alright, so the last number there was 95, but I'm going to call it at 90. I was just sort of testing it out. At 90, it definitely snagged more times than it successfully cut, so I stopped there and then. But still, 90 cuts, you're effectively, as is kind of becoming the rule here, you get about double the cuts when you just lower your angle by, I mean, it's not it is a significant amount. It's like 5 degrees on an edge is quite significant, and it does expose it to frailty. So whether it's for you or not, I'm not sure. Just more of a thought experiment, even, let's call it that. So at 12 degrees, this edge will withstand the rigors of cutting, and it will extend its edge life. And even now, it's not terrible. It's grippy and snaggy. So it's got more, I think, I'm getting the impression that this is what happens. You get certain areas of the blade seem to fatigue quicker, and I'm not sure whether that's from distribution of carbides or whatever it would be, or just pure dumb luck and the way the cutting goes. Certain areas seem to fatigue quicker, and you get, rather than the whole edge dulling, you get a few hang-up points eventually, and those points are enough to stop my little experiment from from being able to say it's reliably slicing and biting into paper. But there you go, Victorinox Swiss steel, so it's still super sharp down the end. But then when it gets to the business end, you've got to be much more considered to get a slice going, so it's no longer reliably cutting after 90. I pushed it to 95, but I'll call it number 90 because the rest was just gravy. Alright, so that is a safe enough angle by my measure to call it a practical knife still. In fact, a quite well performing knife. As I said, probably wouldn't want to take it up against wood, but let's see now if we can strop it back to not doing that snaggy thing, to use technical terms. Let's see now. Schmutz off of my pants. There we go. Stropping back is definitely a thing, especially with these softer steels. Definitely resurrected that edge. Cool. Alright guys, hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching. More of these to come. I just need to go and get some more rope at some point. Then I'll be right back with you. Alright, see you in the next one. Bye now.